So maybe Etsy isn't working the way that you anticipated, or maybe it's working so well that you're looking for different ways to diversify your income and expand beyond just Etsy for print on demand. Well, today we're talking everything about life beyond Etsy. And what I mean by that is different pivots or alternatives you can think about to continue to grow your business in 2025 and 2026. I'm going to cover how to build your own .com store, how to tap into the local market for print on demand, how to think of yourself as an agency for different creators and different folks that could use print on demand services, as well as different platforms that are perfect for print on demand. So let's start with a huge one, and that is building your own online shop. A lot of times I recommend people start with print on demand on Etsy for a couple of reasons. The main one being that Etsy already has a bunch of baked in demand, so you're not having to spend a lot of money upfront to try to bring people to your site. Etsy's going to naturally push a lot of people to your shop because they make money when you make money. However, there are also a lot of downsides with Etsy, and that means they have a little bit of a higher fee percentage that you end up having to pay to Etsy. You also don't get to own any of your audience, and when you actually start building a brand and you get traction, a lot of that data is not owned by you, and so it's hard for you to continue to scale that business. And that's why when somebody's starting to gain traction on Etsy, I will typically recommend that you give yourself the best shot at not being controlled by Etsy, because something could happen the next day where your shop gets shut down or an algorithm change happens that you are now kind of up creek without a paddle, and you don't really have additional ways to sell your product. Additionally, if you are launching products on Etsy and you just cannot get traction, there might be other ways that you can try to figure out how to continue to make money and build your business without having to be on Etsy. If you feel like you have launched on Etsy and tested enough and had either gained some traction or gotten enough learnings, a great next step is going to be launching your own online store. Having your own online shop allows for a lot more control as a business owner. If somebody comes to your Etsy shop, you don't get a lot of that data. If somebody comes to your online shop, you're able to remarket to that person. You're able to send that individual an email. You're able to have better data on who your customers are. So that way you can build products more associated with your customer and keep in touch with that customer at a better speed. And a lot of people think that you need to be spending 30, 40, 50, hundreds of dollars per month to have your own online shop. And that is just absolutely not the case. Having your own online website does not have to be that expensive. And actually, you can utilize platforms that bring that cost down to somewhere around a coffee per month. And that brings you to the partner of today's video, which is Hostinger. Hostinger is a platform that allows you to host your own website, connect that directly with Printful, and handle all of your fulfillment like you would through other platforms at a fraction of the cost. They recently launched this integration with Printful. So within one single platform, you're going to be able to pick out a domain, build your website, link it to your backend production partner, and handle all of your fulfillment and payments through one single website, which is a huge unlock for myself, thinking about not really wanting to spend $40 per month for every single website that I spin up, but being able to do all of that within one platform at a very low cost. So if you're interested in checking that out, I will drop a link to the description below. I was able to get you a deeper discount from the pricing I'm about to show you. So in addition to the pricing that they have here and a Black Friday sale, you're going to get an extra 10% off with code MakeItRain. But if you go down to take a look at their pricing and you add that to cart, you're going to see all the different things that you get with this platform. So included in their Black Friday deal, and you may be watching this after the Black Friday sale and the end of year sales, that is okay. They are still the most affordable option that I have been able to find for being able to host your website, build a website, connect it to a print on demand partner, and handle everything payments. As you can see here, what this comes with is 48 months plus 3 months free hosting. You also get a free domain, so that like .com URL that you're going to need to pick out for your business. All of that comes at a whopping price of about $3.29 per month. And you can add in that coupon code of Make It Rain to bring that price down even further. So as I mentioned, for less than $3 per month, less than a cup of coffee per month, you'd be able to have over 4 years worth of this platform for you to be able to test your business and actually own your own .com store. After you check out, Hostinger will walk you through picking your URL, which is included for 1 year with that price. So actually being able to own that domain is included with the purchase price of everything. It'll also walk you through how to set up your own online web store and then connect that to Printful. Once you connect everything to Printful, Printful, you're going to be able to create designs in Printful, push them to Hostinger, and get the whole ecosystem working and moving. Being able to have your own online store is a great next step to taking print on demand seriously. It's also a great next step if you have tested things on Etsy and you want to pivot away from the fees that are associated with Etsy, and you feel pretty confident that you're going to be able to drive traffic to your own store, whether that's because you have a great concept or an audience through social media, that you're going to be able to generate those users to come from your platforms, from your socials over to your own online store. And you'll be able to save because the fees are not as high with a platform like Hostinger. You saw the price per month. There's no hidden fees. You have to pay processing fees, but it's a lot more affordable from a per purchase standpoint than Etsy. And you also have that flexibility to actually get an email list going, email your customers, start to build a long-term brand as opposed to having one-off sales here and there that you're not really able to understand what moved the needle for that particular purchase. Next, let's talk about something that surprises a bunch of print-on-demand sellers, and that is selling locally. You're watching my video, you probably get a lot of your information online, and what's great about e-commerce is that you're able to sell to everybody from your computer. But there is something to be said as well about a human connection and keeping commerce human, and so I think there is a huge opportunity for you to take your skill set and actually apply that to your town or your city and drum up business within your specific local area. Print on demand does not have to be 100% online. If you think about different businesses like boutiques or pop-ups, small businesses, these are businesses that are using some sort of customized service, or they're utilizing different wholesale platforms that you might be able to approach them and see if your print on demand services could be at use here. Even if you're not noticing a ton of sales on Etsy right now, if you have gone ahead and created an Etsy, created branding, created mock-ups, created designs in Canva, and actually link that to different shirts and products and have sold some of those products, you have this knowledge of how the entire online buying journey happens, from design to listing to purchase to after sale to customer service. And that is a very valuable skill set. What I would recommend that you do is you actually start taking a look at who in your town you might be able to target to see if those services are valuable. A couple of examples that I can think of here. Number one would be going down to some of your local boutiques and local kind of pop-up store and chatting with them. Understand, where do they get their products now? If they're bringing in seasonal t-shirts or they're bringing in seasonal items, do they get those from a wholesale provider? Are they going onto platforms like Faire and actually purchasing them from there? If there are opportunities where you're going to be able to ask them and say, hey, like, what types of products are you purchasing? Would I be able to basically create those for you, and you instead would order them directly from myself? And what I think the benefit is here is that they're going to go through these like third-party wholesale sites like Faire to purchase their products. You might be able to say, I will give you a discount as long as you're buying in bulk. If you buy 20 t-shirts, I'll make sure that every single t-shirt you get from me is at least $1 or $2 cheaper than if you were to purchase it from Faire. And likely what that means is that you will be able to, over time, make a pretty penny if these are going to be bulk orders and they're recurring orders, and you're going to be able to drive 10 to 20 sales per month of each retail outlet that you walk up to. That could be a huge opportunity and a nice little mini business that would be amazing for print on demand and for creating that little like side income. In addition to approaching these like small boutiques and gift shops and kind of asking if they'd be more interested in buying local and potentially buying their designs and their t-shirts from you, you could also do the same thing, but reach out to different businesses that you have that are local to you. A lot of times businesses are launching specific merch, or they're trying to provide gifts for their staff. You could definitely approach these local businesses and say, hey, have you launched merch for your business? If they have, you could say, great, here are some different products that I have. They're interested in potentially switching and going with options that you have created. Or they might be interested in bringing in like a seasonal merch launch that you could design and actually provide for. For example, what I did here is I found this really cute graphic on Creative Fabrica, and I threw it into Canva, mocked it up with a little bit of a beauty bar, so like a hair salon type of example. What you could do is you could put a couple of these designs together, customize them, go over to one of your salons and say, hey, are you guys interested in seasonal merch? I'm definitely putting together a few designs for you. You've already done the work, you've already made the designs, and see if they'd be interested in ordering a few for them and for their staff. It's not also buying to actually sell in their store. This is a really great way to show that you've already done the work, you know how to design, you're not recreating the wheel. They might already be going on to Etsy to like try and buy these products anyways, and you're just kind of intercepting that. It's a lot easier to drive a sale when you're right there in front of them with the opportunity and they're not seeing a comparison between you and somebody else on Etsy. This is just one example, but if you build these relationships over time, maybe they're buying 3 t-shirts every couple months. You could go back in the festive season and around the holidays and say, hey, here's our next seasonal drop. Would you be interested in purchasing any of these? Here are the prices, and kind of do your business that way. Another great way that you might be able to utilize your expertise that, believe it or not a lot of people have, is to actually help these people set up online shops for their merch. Which brings me also to the third expansion, which is kind of running your own e-commerce merchandise agency. So with some of these businesses you approach to actually just like sell them product, you could ask them like, hey, do you have any interest in actually having like an online merch shop? If so, I'd be more than happy to help walk you through and almost consult with them on how to build these types of online businesses. There are a lot of businesses out there like car washes, pest control, that are wanting to be able to provide merchandise for their team, but they don't really have a great way of doing it. Potentially, they're also wanting to offer like an incentives program where if somebody drives a certain amount of sales, they can go on and pick out a piece of merch or a really great new product for free, and they don't have a great way to do that. You could help them with that and create this online business. You could definitely start thinking about this as a package. So you could reach out to people and provide a couple of different packages. So package one could be you're just going to design the products for them. You're going to say, here are 10 different products. If you want to order a big batch of them in bulk, this is how much it would cost. You'd obviously mark up what you would have to pay through Printify or Printful and do larger sales that way. Another option that you could work with is providing a full service solution. So you'd say, it's going to cost $1,000 for me to work with you to set up an online website, but with that included is also going to be that website. But with that website, we're also going to include 10 to 15 different products integrated through a shipping partner that would allow for your customers to order all of that and charge you on the back end. You could take this a step further and say, in addition to that, if they want somebody to help them with making sure all the orders are moving through properly or potentially new product drops and the customer service aspect, if there are any issues with products being shipped out or quality issues, they could pay you a recurring monthly fee to manage that, something pretty small. So you essentially turn yourself into kind of a merch partner. There are a lot of different nonprofits, bands, small businesses, maybe niche content creators that have an audience or have a need, have absolutely no idea how to get these products to their people or set that up, whether it is something that is for fundraising or themselves opening up a stream of income. And you could be the person that connects that person with the knowledge and the know-how to actually get something like this done. You're essentially offering like a done-for-you merch management, but having different tiers of product that you might be able to support them with. What I love about this too is I open this up with the idea that you could take this as a value add of just like selling your products to small businesses to now you're selling a service to small businesses, but you can also take this back virtual. You could start to take a look at in your hometown or in your state or folks that you follow on social media. If they have like a small following, like they're a micro influencer with like 10,000 followers or less, you could reach out to them and say, hey, have you ever thought about launching merch before? Here are 10 different designs that I've created, and I would love to talk to you about how we can potentially make this a reality and open up this income stream for you. And lastly, let's talk about other marketplaces outside of Etsy. I opened this video with the fact that Etsy is a great platform to launch on. Do not get me wrong, that is where I launched my business. But there comes a time where you might want to start thinking about different options, whether you're doing so well or it's just not really working for you. And so there are some other platforms that work really well in the print on demand space too that you could test out for your own business. I'm going to rattle them off quickly here, but if you have interest in learning more about any of these platforms, just let me know in the comments below. And this is a perfect spot to say, if you are liking this video so far, please like and subscribe so I can keep doing this every week. First one is going to be Amazon Merch on Demand. This is the biggest print on demand marketplace outside of Etsy. Huge volume, but approval is competitive. Once you're in though, you get Amazon level traffic. So it's kind of like Etsy, but on steroids. If you're really wanting to drive a lot of volume and might be okay with taking a little bit of a lower profit margin, but definitely being able to supercharge your volume once you're accepted and you get those designs selling. The next one is called Fair, which is a platform I in particular have dabbled with and have had really good experience with. Fair is a wholesale platform where a lot of gift shops or niche boutiques are buying their product from. They buy them at wholesale cost, which means they don't have to pay tax. And typically most of the products on that website will be things that the buyers could mark up 20 to 50%. and sell it in person in their own shop. If you want your shirts or your mugs or your candles in small retail, this is the platform to be on. Keep in mind that people are shopping here because they're expecting a lower price point, so you're not going to be able to charge the same price that you would on Etsy. You'll have to charge a slightly lower price point, but most of the orders are bulk orders. So you'd be able to set order minimums, meaning that you will not ship something unless there are more than one item in that order. And you could set that as high or as low as you want. And the last one, potentially the biggest opportunity outside of Amazon Merch on Demand, is Instagram Shop and TikTok Shop. We have seen social commerce be such a driver in the last year, and it's probably only going to continue to increase. But what's really important here is that you have a business that does well on social and that creative could be built that performs well and is viral. So if you're really good at kind of spotting trends and producing products and working with creators and making sure that your product is showing up well and is shareable, having Instagram Shop or TikTok Shop are huge opportunities. And a lot of the print on demand partners nowadays actually integrate directly with them. There are some different criteria for how fast they have to ship. And like I said, you'll want to make sure that you are a star with short form content. But this is a trend that has been so hot lately, and I anticipate this will be huge in 2026. The point here is don't put all of your eggs in the Etsy basket. You have plenty of opportunities outside of Etsy to expand your business. To recap, the first one is launching your own online store. I've highlighted the brand Hostinger, which again is the partner of today's video, where you're going to be able to get your own website built with the domain and have all of the bells and whistles for less than a coffee per month for 48 months. That's a great deal, and I highly recommend you take a look at them. I will drop a link to them in the description below and include that promo code that gives you an extra 10% off. And right now they're running a Black Friday sale, so there's no better time to potentially test this if you are looking for that expansion or Etsy just isn't working for you. The next part is going local. We've got so many people that are going digital, and it's pretty easy to get in a rat race here. Go local. If you're standing there with designs and opportunities in front of another human, you're only competing against yourself, and those are relationships that are built and maintained, so it really provides longevity if you're wanting to create a business that is focused on helping your community and getting involved in the community. And a lot of people need your services. The next expansion is having your own print-on-demand agency, where you could again work with small and local businesses to actually show them how they would create their own print-on-demand website or merch store, or reaching out to virtual creators to see if you could help them bring their merch alive. These are small businesses themselves that would love to open up an extra income stream. So if you're watching somebody on your socials and they keep saying the same thing over and over again, it's becoming kind of like a trademarked phrase for them, then you could help them launch that merch and potentially bring in hundreds of dollars for their own business. And that's the expertise that you have with print on demand. Lastly is expanding to other different marketplace or web platforms that allow you to sell your designs or sell your product. If this video was helpful, please hit it with a like, a subscribe, and maybe even a comment. Doing 1 to 3 of those things really helps push my video out for other folks to see and allows me to keep making these videos. I will catch you on the next one.